Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soothing Sundays. If you're new here, I live stream twice a week, Sunday, 5 p.m., Wednesday, 6 p.m. Both are Pacific time. And on Sundays, we start with a neurological reprogramming tool just to help calibrate for the week. Use it throughout the week. I'm going to teach you it right now, but use it throughout the week because I always give you a tool that helps you reprogram your brain quickly. To just, if we get off track, sometimes we get anxious or things throw us off or we get triggered by something. So every neurological reprogramming technique that I teach you, it's something that you could implement quickly, and then it helps you just recalibrate really quickly. It's not something you need to sit and, which I like those methods too, but it's always something that could instantly pull you back into the moment. So this one is from the Silva method, Jose Silva's method. Like, he has this whole method for rewiring the brain. He was an engineer and then realized all the similarities between your brain and how machines work and how computers work. So that's why I make a lot of those references, because it's true. Your brain is so much like a computer. So anyway, the method that we're going to do is Jose Silva, or the Silva method, and the 3-finger method. Might have gone over this before, but the 3-finger method is something that can just really anchor you back into the moment when you learn how to use it. So we're going to learn how to use it right now. So what you want to do is get in just a comfortable seated position. And if you want to close your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes. And what you're going to do is just relax your body. Just start with your head all the way, and then just do like a body scan and notice, is your forehead tensed up? Are like the muscles around your eyes, your jaw? This is a big part of the Silva method. Really noticing, becoming aware of every single muscle in your body. So starting with your face, and then moving to the muscles in your neck and all the way down your arm, your chest, your stomach, your legs, your butt, your knees, your ankle, everything. And then we're going to completely relax it. Every muscle that you're aware of, that when you do the body scan, you're relaxing it and you're breathing deeply. And so just taking a moment to do that. And that already puts your brain in a more relaxed state. It gets it out of a cortisol state, if it was in a cortisol state, and helps you relax. And then from there, you're going to think about a peaceful scene, whatever that might be to you. That might be the ocean, that might be the forest, whatever it is to you, a place where you feel completely at peace. And I want you to notice the sounds, how the air smells, whatever it is. Really immerse yourself in that. This is a big part of that technique. So you're really feeling into how that looks. And then from there, you're noticing that you're in this scene, right? So from there, this is where the 3 fingers come in. You bring these 3 fingers together, your index, your middle, and your thumb finger together. And so now you're associating, this is called an anchor. You're associating putting these 3 fingers together with that scene. And every time you're in this scene, you feel relaxed. And every time your fingers are together like this, you immediately relax, and you immediately have like mental clarity and focus and all of the things when you go into that space. So you don't even have to visualize it. You just know that when you put your 3 fingers together, you immediately become relaxed and focused and grounded, and your nervous system is regulated. So that's what you're telling yourself as your eyes are closed or open and you're visualizing this, and your 3 fingers are together. And now you tell yourself, every time my 3 fingers are together, no matter what, I immediately become regulated, relaxed, and focused. And it allows me to do whatever I want in, if it's a meeting or just needing to be relaxed, in a more efficient way. And just keep breathing, and be thankful that you have this tool. I have this tool now, 3-finger technique. There it is. And so anytime that you are in a space where you feel just off, right? Or you're just stressed, or anything, or you feel triggered, come back to this technique. It's the 3-finger technique, and remind yourself, like, every time I do this, I'm relaxed and focused and recalibrated. That is the Jose Silva method for the 3-finger technique. And a lot of people use it. If you pay attention to TED Talks, a lot of them are doing that. Or anytime you need to give a presentation, a lot of times people do that, just kind of slightly, but it could be anything. The anchor can be anything. I think that there might be something that's connected in the brain with the 3 fingers, but let's say for whatever reason you can't do that, your anchor could be something, in your foot, or maybe crossing your ankles, or whatever. You could decide that that's your anchor. It can work in a similar way. But for now, like do the three fingers together if you have availability for that. Okay, so I'm here to answer your mental health related questions. I specialize in, hello, Thomas. I specialize in mental health. Oh, I'm a mental health practitioner. I'm a therapist, but in relationships, toxic personality such as narcissism, borderline, sociopath, and how to deal with them. I used to be a personality profiler for the government. And so if you have any questions about that, or anything about your healing journey, if you have any questions or comments about your healing journey, or expediting your healing journey around something, it could be grief, it could be a breakup, anything like that, please let me know. And if you're regular here to my live streams, which I do twice a week, we celebrate our wins. It is so important to celebrate your wins. Hello, Damon. Hi, Damon. So it's really important to celebrate your wins, because a lot of times we are focused on one thing, beating ourselves up about it. And then once we do it, we're like, okay, yeah, next thing. So you're actually in this unconscious state of beating yourself up. And I want you to break that neural pathway, that feedback loop. So when you do something, you're actually getting a dopamine response from it. And that dopamine response will take you a lot farther, and even a serotonin kick too. So we want you to we want you to be in that state more. So every time it's like, you know what, I finally did this. And you know what, I did go to bed early, and I did drink the amount of water that I said I wasn't, celebrating that. So put it in the comments. And also I encourage you in your phone to write a list of all the things like that you want to, and it doesn't matter if you get them all accomplished or not, but, and then, in your notes section in your phone, you could like check it off the list. It's important, but it's also like a very simple thing that you can do to get that dopamine hit. So I encourage you to do that. But if you want to celebrate your wins here too, that is awesome as well. I'm going to pull up the live stream on here, and I'll also answer questions that people DM me about, because I get a lot of DMs, and I just like answering them here, because if someone's asking me a question about something, I know that a lot of people have the same question. So, but let me pull up the live stream because it'll be easier for me to see. And then, so one of the questions I got a lot of feedback about, not a lot of feedback in terms of when I made a video about the fact that narcissists don't like when you sleep, and they will do something to set anytime that you feel at peace or you're happy, they don't like it. So, and that is true just in general. Narcissists do not like when you are happy or at peace, experiencing joy, happy, relaxed, anything like that. They don't like it, and they will do whatever they can to dysregulate you, or to get you out of that nice state that you're in. So another one that someone was asking me about is like the little tiny, like the little punishments that narcissists do, whether they're mad at you or just to make you feel like they're putting you in your place. So they will purposely like not get back to you for a while. Or another one that narcissists do, and I feel like it's to like make themselves feel important, or it's a subconscious way to show that my time is more valuable than yours. They think that is that they'll answer a text and it's really sloppy. It looks like a 5-year-old was like banging on the thing, and it's like, and so you're sitting there using your time and energy to decode what they're saying. In fact, I had a friend, I refer to her as Anna. She's not a friend anymore, but like she would do that all the time. She'd be like, blah, 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 and talking to her phone. And then I'm like, people can't understand you when you do that. They're like, whatever, they'll figure it out. Just happy about it. So know that that is a thing that this is another little micro thing that narcissists do to make themselves feel important and to feel like they have a hold on you. Like you're going out of your way to connect with them, and you're putting extra effort and taking precious time out of your day to like decode their text. And then also another one is being in a hurry. Oh my God, everything's an emergency. Everything's an emergency. So they do that to, again, feel like they have power and control over the situation. And it's like their mood dictates everything. And if they can get all of these people to be in this urgent state because of them, it makes them feel powerful. And so they like that. They derive pleasure out of that. And I worked with a guy that, well, I was hired by his like CFO, was like, we gotta get him on track because he literally does this. He acts like all insane and everything, and then he thinks it's like a good thing. And so I walked in and everyone was like running around with their head cut off, like all the like just like everyone's in this like state of emergency and everything. And then when I met the Narcissist CEO that was doing that, I mean, he went out of his way to amp it up. It was like a flex. Like he wanted me to see, like, he was proud of it. And so they really feel like it's a form of power. And he even told me, he's like, yeah, I like it. I like when things are erratic and there's an emergency going on, because they're constantly dysregulated. So they're going to do that. So that is another one, like always feeling like something has to be urgent and everything. Like, drop your life, drop what you're doing so you can tend to me, is the thought behind it. Because I'm more important, my time is more important than yours. And another one is forgetting. Oh yeah, forgetting that it's in the same vein. So this woman's writing me about all the different things that her narcissistic partner does, and it's like, oh, I forgot that, if it doesn't fit. But they also say that they forgot something, one, because if they don't want to do it and it doesn't immediately revolve around them, they're not going to want to do it. And two, it's like another subconscious thing. My time is more important than yours, and my priorities are more important than yours. And so I know that this thing is a priority to you and it's not to me. So therefore you, and the association is like, you in your life is less important than me, and everything's about me and I'm important and you're not, type of thing. So it's this constant like devaluing, even though the narcissistic cycle of abuse goes from praise, love bombing, all this stuff, to devaluation, all the way to then you break up with them, then they hover, all those things. But like after a while, they're just always putting in digs and always devaluing, always making you feel like you're less than in any way they can, I remember dating a narcissist, and he liked the fact that I didn't have kids. I don't want to have kids. I never had that desire. And then he would be like, oh yeah, but it's just like, sucks. You'll never be able to experience that, when he was talking about his kids. And I'm like, bitch, that is one of the reasons you like me. And I don't want to have kids. Like, now you're trying to devalue me for things I don't even want to do. Fuck off. So yeah, these tiny little digs all the time. And then if you bring it up, it's like, oh my God, you are being so... Sorry, I'm trying to center my thing. If you bring it up, they're like, oh my God, you're being so dramatic. I didn't mean it like that. You're blowing things out of proportion. You are so sensitive. And so now it turns into a character thing on you, instead of you trying to get your needs met and talk about what's wrong. Let's see. Hi, Abel. How are you? Let's see. Put you in a timeout. Hi, Jabari. How are you? How's everything in Texas? What do I think of the book Mindset by... Are you talking about Carol Dweck? I like that book. I've recommended it to clients. I think it's a really good way to, and it's a very practical, straightforward way to get you to just organize your mind and rewire your brain in terms of like having a different minds, like good or positive mindsets around things. I haven't read it in a long time. I don't want to say the word basic, but it is. Hi, Miss Priya. How are you? what are your wins for the week? Let me know. But I do like that book by Carol Dweck. I think you're talking, and Carol Dweck's work in general, I like. It's so straightforward. It's easy to understand and metabolize. I like her because, as a person in mental health, she's not like doing this thing where it's like, I'm so great. Like, it's not about her ego. She's just very practical and straightforward. So I like her work. Let me put this person in a timeout. Hello. I like how you guys all say hi to each other. Yes. Live life live now. Yes, I do education about mental health, and so please let me know if you or even if you have a question about certain personality types and what they do, about your healing journey. Where are you right now in your life, in your healing journey? What are your goals? And when I speak to clients or you guys in general, when I make content, I'm like, think about, or I encourage you to think about your health, wealth, relationships, career, and spirituality, relationship to God, universe, all of that. Like, break it down into those things because it feels more manageable. And it's like, okay, I could do this one little thing for my health. I could do this one little thing to shift to a more wealth conscious mindset. Like, the career part is the other, like, and they often go together, but I separate career and wealth because sometimes we sabotage ourselves by not allowing ourselves to receive the money that we deserve with our mindset. So the wealth consciousness is a different category than career, but the wealth consciousness can positively impact the career. And then, of course, our health. I always encourage you to start with health because we want that. And then in the relationship section, you want relationships to yourself, and then your work relationships, and then maybe if you have a romantic relationship or want or you want a certain type of relationship if you're single, that type of thing. So let's see, where do we leave off? Texas. Miss Priya, hey, when starting to send boundaries, people are shocked and they can't believe you aren't a pushover. Yeah, that's true. When you start to work on yourself, when you start to evolve and raise your level of consciousness and you're literally like vibrating in a different capacity, the people that used to use you, the toxic people, the people that would use you as supply for their drama, addiction, or whatever, they don't like when you change. They don't like it. So they're expecting the old version of you to show up and they're pissed that you have boundaries. They're like, oh, really? Okay, yeah, they don't like any of that. And that's okay. A lot of times when my clients are really starting to like have those boundaries and keep them, and it's scary to do that if you've always been a pushover or a doormat or you have some codependent tendencies. And so you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll just do this one thing. I'll give this person money even though I don't really have the money, or I'll stay up till whatever. And you stop doing that, the other person does not like that you are not enabling them anymore. And so it could be scary, that whole, like, your nervous system can be like flared up. And so I want to acknowledge that first. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, because your the old response was like, I'm going to get in trouble, I need to do this, or I'll get abandoned. But as your boundaries get stronger, you can say no, and they are welcome to have their reaction. We don't control other people. Everyone is allowed to have their own experience. So they can kick and scream and call you all kinds of names. That's fine. They're allowed to have their own experience. We don't manage other people's behavior. We manage ourselves and how we react to things. So having that strong boundary and keeping it is important. And the thing about people like that is that after a while, they just find new supply. They're like, okay, well, they're not going to enable me, I'll get it somewhere else. And they might start a smear campaign like, oh, this bitch, this asshole doesn't blah blah, because you're not enabling them anymore. Let them. Who cares? And if anyone is actually believing them, then they're in the same place. So who cares? Like, leave those people alone. Let those people hang out with each other, but you keep your boundaries and you keep evolving. So Yeah. Yeah, Miss Priya. So yeah, they will retaliate more, they'll flare up, but if you keep your boundary, I promise it'll just dwindle away, they'll just find new supply, but they will kick and scream for a while hoping that you cave. And when you don't cave, they will find new supply. And that's all they're viewing you as. I got to be straight up with you because I always am. They're going to find new supply. So they'll leave you alone. And then now you have more space to have people in your life that are actually positively contributing to your life and actually care about you and love and support you. And you have more energy. So you can give to yourself. Again, that relationship with yourself is so important. We forget how important it is to have a good relationship with ourselves and to love ourselves and to show support and care and consistency to ourselves in a way that we would for other people. Okay, let's see. Great question, Miss Priya. Let's see, Jabari, thanks for asking. I'm feeling good. All in all, recently I've been feeling disillusioned about the tragic things happening to, yeah, yeah. And yeah, things like that can be disillusioning. But what can you do? And I believe in, if you have your intentions in your heart in the right place, it can shift the energy around you. I know that might sound a little woo-woo, but it's true. That's why, certain monks, they go to certain areas just to meditate there to make the energy better. And I do believe that's a real thing. Do you think humanity would be better off if we taught kids from the beginning to manage their, of course. Who's up? One. That's a great question, and I wish that was taught more. Just mental health maintenance and mental health awareness, right? We're not taught that in school at all, and we often come from cultures or families that don't talk about that at all. But your mental health and your emotions are something they're always with you, right? They're always living with you. And emotions are energy in motion. They come and they go. But if you don't understand that, you can really attach to a certain emotion it's usually one that doesn't serve you, like anger or fear or anxiety, and feel like you are that emotion. We are not our emotions. We experience them. They're information that is constantly flowing through our nervous system, and that's it. That's it. But yes, I do wish kids, and not that, like, I know that they have like a lot of kids books that are, helping you understand and locate your emotions, and I love stuff like that, but I did wish it was taught like in the public system school, like at a very young age. And maybe they're starting to live life now. 25 years of abusive relationship hid from her. She now knows about it. What do you mean? I hid from her. What does she know about? Abel is brown and proud. Let me get rid of that. Hi, Albert. We don't talk about politics here. Abel, this ain't the place, kid. Jabari, that said, God bless us with business partnerships here in Texas, feeling grateful, yet feeling stressed as well. So, what are we doing to manage the stress, Jabari? It's okay to feel stress, right? We just want to be able to manage it and not feel like the stress is taking over us. Live life now, then okay, move along. I have reclaimed myself so I could be there for my kids. I love that. Live life now. That's amazing. And also, so you could be there for yourself. Like when we have children, it's kind of like, okay, I got to do this for my kids. But at some point, I want you to also be doing it for yourself. Is Jennifer, um, Abel, I make the sky light up. Okay. Jabari, true, Lauren, energy work isn't woo woo. Yeah, I know a lot of people think it's woo woo. I mean, everything is energy, right? On the most molecular level, everything is energy. So if you decide, and this is also like crossing into Neville Goddard type of, which is the law of assumption, which is all about energy. If you decide, okay, I live here and actually I live in a world where that doesn't happen. And I live in a very peaceful world where things are safe and secure and all like the economy is great, all the things. It's a real thing. Thank you for the hearts. Live life now, my daughter. Alexis. Yes, blue nails. You got to do it sometimes. Peter, hi Peter, how are you? If you're new here, Peter is amazing. He's been on his healing journey and doing so great and just implementing some of the stuff, that advice that I gave him, and that's what I love. It's kind of like, I really cannot help you if you don't want to help yourself. I love helping people. And I love like if you are in my comments or DMs or here on this live stream, but if you just fucking complain about stuff, no one can. If you are in like, it's a real addiction to be addicted to misery or your problem. And it's like, I can't always be this way. Then it will always be that way, babe. It will. But people have gotten over things that you've gotten over. And I don't mean to like minimize it like that, but it is true. Like, I don't care if it's been this way for decades. It can shift right now. Today, it can shift. You can have a new reality, a new relationship with yourself, with money, with another person, with your career, with your body, with your health. It can happen right now, but you have to decide and you have to stop arguing for your limitations. If you believe in your limitations or whatever you fear more than you believe that you can have this new reality, then it's never going to happen. But if you decide to shift your focus, because your mind is this powerful, if you shift your powerful energy to the outcome that you want, it will happen sooner. And then we take the action steps, and those are uncomfortable sometimes. Those are new behaviors for us. So taking new behaviors is difficult sometimes, but we keep going in the direction that we want. And Peter says, hi, Lauren, I felt less loved and more an ATM on how I'm supposed to support their dreams. There is nothing from her. I'm realizing irrespective of my failures doesn't mean I'm a doormat. No, you are deciding to move out of the doormat. Let me remove this person. There we go. So, yeah, you're moving out of the doormat era. You've done enough of that. And we don't have relationships where the other person is just taking or just sees us as supply, right? We don't want that at all anymore. And so you get to say like, I'm not a doormat. I'm not to be used just as an ATM. No, those days are over. Maybe in the past you allowed people to do that, but not anymore. And really standing on that, because remember, we talk a lot about self-concept work here. So your self-concept is literally how you conceptualize yourself, how you perceive yourself. So, and it's so powerful. So if you decide right now, and when you do self-concept work, you don't want to identify with what you don't want. So you say like, for instance, in this case, you want to say, I have strong boundaries. I only have relationships where there's reciprocity. That's it. That's it. If anyone else is trying to do anything, I'm just not available. I only have relationships where there's reciprocity because I give a lot, so I get to receive that as well. Guys, I'm just gonna like block you from the thing if you keep, like, it's not gonna go anywhere. Yes, took me 25 years, live life now, but you did it. You did it. And I'm proud of you, live life now. You did it. That's hard sometimes. I mean, it's always hard in the beginning, and then you feel a lot better. Jabari, good question, Lauren. Mostly napping to manage stress currently. What do you recommend? I mean, napping is good. That's a good way to regulate your nervous system. I also recommend meditation. It does not need to take a long time. You can do it while you're falling asleep, but you could just bring in a light that kind of like cleanses any stress out of your body as you're breathing deeply. And as that light is going internally and externally, like through you, it's taking away any stress and really relaxing you every time you breathe. And the solution, whatever would resolve that stress, is coming in every time you inhale. And then the exhales out the stress. And I definitely recommend that at night. And then as soon as you can in the morning, maybe while you're lying there and waking up in the morning, and then throughout your day as much as you can. Abel, LA lights up when I'm arriving. Okay. One defense, we can overcome addiction that shaped our personality because of the constant shame, guilt, or fear. Yeah, you could definitely overcome addiction. And what's underneath addiction is the inability to handle the present moment, right? So we're always trying to numb out. We're thinking about the past or worried about the future, but we're trying to numb out to the present moment. So when that happens, we get into these compulsive behaviors. And if we stop one addiction and we don't do the root to what's going on, then we'll go into another compulsive behavior. This is why in 12-step programs, they say don't have a relationship for a year, because a lot of times when you stop drinking, for instance, you get into chaotic relationships. People, addicts say it all the time. It's like, okay, now I'm going to get high off this relationship and this other person. So you really want to get sober and understand, like, to not have that guilt and shame and fear control you. Abel, I don't want anyone around. What do you mean by that? Let me see. Let's see. West, so why do Will from Stranger Things? I don't know. Live life. I only allow myself to be used right now for physical safety, but I have made peace with that. I am terminally ill, but that's okay. When I live for my kids, it makes it all worth it. I love that. Good. Good. I think that's a good attitude to have. Peter has a win to celebrate. We celebrate our wins here. So if you have something that's a win for you, no matter how small or big it is, like, please celebrate it. That's how we rewire the brain to create more and more positive habits and outcomes. So Peter's win, I have added in daily journaling about what I'm thankful for. Yes, every day. So I'm not only am I writing my challenges, but also thoughtfully being grateful, even for the small things. I freaking love it. What we appreciate appreciates. Okay. If you have $2 in your bank account, be so appreciative of that. Be so grateful for that, and it will magnify. Gratitude and appreciation are such powerful energies. I feel like people don't want you to know that, right? So you're stuck in scarcity, because if you're stuck in scarcity, you're easy to control and manipulate, and you'll buy more shit, and you think everything is outside of you. Express gratitude for the things in your life that you are grateful for, and they will amplify. I promise you that. Nice, Peter. Google. No, napping is good. That's not true. You just have to, I mean, you can nap for either 20 minutes or 90 minutes. It's fine. That's not going to ruin your sleep. Richard, walking, heart circulation. Okay. Jabari, Lauren, you were sharing that you've never desired kids. Can we ask the reason for this? Did you always know? Yeah, I've always known I never wanted kids. Or was there a moment that, no, I just never wanted kids? And I mean, I had to kind of like raise my mom and sister. And I've been a caretaker so much in my life that I'm good, and I really respect parents and think it's an amazing, like, spiritual journey. And I think people should have children for the right reasons, meaning not because they think that they're supposed to, or for any other reasons, or to continue cycles of abuse, but if you're doing it for the right reasons, I think it's wonderful. Jabari, thank you, Lauren, for the meditation. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Meditation is always a great way to like clear your brain, right? You do the physical hygiene, you brush your teeth, you shower, but meditation is such a powerful like mental and emotional hygiene tool, right? It just clears it out and we got to do that, right? We don't want to be smelly on the inside, even though, we want to shower on the inside too. Let's see. John, I don't sleep during the day no matter how tired I am because I don't want to. Yeah, some people, if it disturbs your sleep, don't do it. But I love napping. If you nap in the right way, it can really help your nervous system. Live life now. I find that mindful meditation is most effective. I agree. I think all meditation is mindful, but yes, some of it is about, going to the astral plane or different levels of consciousness. But all of it is so helpful, I believe. One Defense, thanks for answers. Of course, that's what I'm here for. Let's see. Richard stopped yanking and banking to watch this. Okay. Live life now. My win today was I didn't have as much pain this morning. That's good. Like to hear that. Jabari, wow, Peter. I love that you're expressing gratitude through journaling. Yeah, it's awesome. Abel, I wanted kids before, not anymore, but kids are cool. I love kids. By the way, I love kids. Like, I love my niece. John, if I nap for 20 minutes, I won't be able to fall. Oh, okay. That's fine. Abel, what do you think the purpose of being in this world is? I do really believe that everyone came to this planet for a reason. You have something that you came to do. You came here to be a channel for something, guys. Okay. Whether it's, and because it's like that thing gives you life, you're passionate about that. Okay. So you could be a channel for something like some creative endeavor, for being a therapist, for being a doctor, for, you came into this world to do something and make a difference in that way. And you get to find out what it is. And really, I believe it's just whatever you call God working through you. You're just a channel for that, right? Like even what I'm doing right now, like, yes, I'm educated in all the things, but I'm just a channel to help you guys. And every time I work with a client, I'm like, I am just a channel for what you need to hear. And I'm, filtering it through my education and everything else. But that's all I am. And I think it's good to work with people in the mental health field that understand that, because sometimes people and doctors, they get so arrogant. Like, really, you're just a channel for things, but everyone is a channel for something. You came here to do something. And I think ultimately all of us came here to understand how to be closer to God and more aligned, whatever you call God, your higher power, universe, or whatever it is, or even the purest vibrations of love, peace, and joy, and really understanding what that is. And these fear states of being so down and fearful and in doubt and in grief and apathy and all of those things are the opposite. And we have to go through those things to understand that really we are aligned with pure love, pure joy, and peace, right? And when we get in those states, it feels really good, first of all, because just like Abraham Hicks says, if it feels good, that's the direction you're supposed to be going in. And if it doesn't, that's telling you that you're believing something that isn't true. So yeah, we can get in states where like, well, what is it all for? To be closer to God, to raise your vibration to pure love, peace, and joy. If you ask me, oh gosh, where'd I go? Live life now. I didn't want kids either, but I was forced to, but love my kids. They are wonderful. I love that. Peter, love the shower inside. I need a deep clean for sure. Yeah, we all do sometimes. Sometimes the house gets a little messy or whatever. We forgot to shower or something. So let's do a deep clean and think of it that way. You're really doing a psychological, mental, and emotional deep clean. And meditation is such a quick way to do that. And I meditate for typically about 30 minutes and it flies by. But if you're just starting, do 2 to 5 minutes. It's really so helpful. Jabari, thank you, Lauren, for sharing your reason. I respect it. Yeah. Richard, sure. Meditation is great, but our bodies need movement. Yeah, of course. I'm not saying like one or the other. Obviously, I work out every day. Jabari, Lauren, on the topic of ending cycles of abuse, you don't want to your genes to go on. No, it's not that. I think that you should have kids if you have a desire to. I had a desire to, and I feel like all of my clients are like my kids, and it's just I don't know why men have such a hard time wrapping their head around this. I don't fucking want to have kids. Like I just don't. Like I think when you do that, it's really, and people don't talk about this enough because it's not glamorous, but like it's a full-time job. It's very hard on your body. You really shouldn't be working for a while. And I don't want I just I and I do think that if you have the desire to have children, then you should. But I don't think, in my opinion, you should have kids because you feel like you're supposed to. Um, yeah, movement is very important. We talk about that a lot here. Peter, I'm realizing life's purpose is not something you discover, but you get at by being authentic and following your heart. Yeah. If you do that, you live your purpose. I'm on that journey. Yeah. And like, Peter, we're basically saying the same thing. Is this kind of like what you have, like, the roadmap or the GPS for that is, what am I passionate about? What do I care about? What do I, and it could just be like, oh, my journey out of depression. You don't care about anything. Okay, when you used to care about something, what was it? If you don't care about anything, when you did care about something, like, how did you feel? And can you get back to this? And like, really, there's no such thing as really not caring about anything, but we do get in these states where we believe the fear is stronger than us, and so things like that happen. But I promise you, you do care about something, and that you do have a purpose. You were brought into this world to be a channel for something, as I call it. What should someone do if they're struggling with depersonalization? I also think meditation is a good thing for this. So if you and you could also, there's so many things. You could be going through a timeline shift, like going into quantum physics, and depersonalization could be you a sign that you are spiritually advancing and that you are leaving behind an old set of defense mechanisms. We know when people say like, I'm a new person because of my journey or whatever, it's really a new thing. You're leaving this timeline where you acted like this and you're moving to another one. So there can be a strong sense of depersonalization. Surrender to it, allow it to happen. Don't worry, don't attach to it. If anything, celebrate it. Be like, okay, I'm leaving those old defense mechanisms, that old life, that old struggle that I was attached to, and letting it go and surrender to it. And I would also, when this has happened to me, just be grateful for it. I'm so grateful that I'm leveling up my consciousness and I'm going to this timeline where everything's easier, relationships and money and health, everything's easier. That's what I do with depersonalization. I think it can be a very exciting thing. Crystal XP from this event. Um, Yes, official writer meditation is awesome. And another form of meditation that I like is walking meditation. So, because walking is so good for you. So, you could walk around whatever your favorite environment is, the beach, the forest, and then all you do, you breathe deeply and just notice everything around you, every sound, every smell, everything. So, you're just very much in the present moment and you're doing everything you can. How does the floor feel or the ground feel? Underneath your feet? How does the wind, everything, the nature sounds, all of it, like you're just really immersing yourself in the moment. So if you do feel like you have a hard time with regular meditation, go do a walking meditation. And you could do it at work. You could just do a lap around the building or around, the block or whatever. There's always a way to do a walking meditation as well. Da, da, da. Um, Frederico, hello. Hi, Frederico from Argentina. It's actually not been proven. I'm sorry, that is completely false, and I know the data because I study it all the time. It has not been proven that women with children are happier. In fact, they're often not. And also the same is true with marriage. When, um, and the studies that have been done actually prove the opposite, that men that are married and have children are happier than women. That's why on a psychological level, especially currently, like men or marriage is more beneficial to men. That's just what the studies show and everything. But like to say that, that's just actually not true. Biologically, it's difficult. And like, I mean, I would love if that was the case, you know, I'm not like, I would love if it was the case that, women are happier. Like, and by the way, the psychological toll that kids take on you is really difficult. I have worked with a lot of women that go through a lot of really insane postpartum, and I mean intense, like postpartum stuff. So, um, yeah, when I bring this up, men get so triggered by it, like that I don't want to have kids, and like, but don't bring up like if that's your opinion, I welcome your opinion, but this is like actually false information. It's actually the opposite. Unfortunately. And I mean, a lot of times women, you could look up the studies. So like, I like my kids or whatever, but if I didn't have them, like, I mean, it's that intense. So, and some women love their children and some it's the opposite, but it actually, look up the studies. I'm not making it up. And I actually look at studies all the time for a living. Um, Live life now, right? My patients were like my kids. Yeah, I mean, it is like a lot of my nurturing energy goes to you guys on my live streams and my clients. I just love them. And I love how when I work with a client, I get to see how like that affects their family, because I do executive coaching and how positive affects everyone in that company. It's very rewarding for me. Like, um, thank you, Euless. Appreciate um subscribing to my channel. Welcome. Um, Peter, mindfulness, being present. Yes. Um, Live life now. Women work an extra 3 months worth of hours compared to men. Yeah. Jabari, I believe Lauren. I believe she's happier without kids. Yeah, and varies from person. It does. Zachary. Peter has a question. How to practice not justifying someone else's energy sucking behavior. I think I find it hard to do that consistently with my family. Okay, well, first of all, that's really good awareness because you don't have to justify anything, especially when you deal with people that are narcissistic or refuse to take any type of accountability for their behavior or try to offload their accountability. It's like you start to justify because you're so beaten down, or you have to justify it to yourself because it's like, why else am I putting up with this? It's just, you have to be aware of it like you are and stop doing it. Just literally, Peter, it's like that, creating that positive pattern disruption. Oh, I'm justifying things. Because justifying is a form of enabling their behavior. So stop justifying it. Like how do you do it? You have to stop. You have to catch yourself when you're doing it, which you've already done, and then decide, hey, I'm committed to not doing that anymore. Make that commitment to yourself. And also in your journaling, write that, like, Peter, from now on, I commit to not justifying anyone else's toxic behavior because that's a form of enabling it. And really incorporate that and integrate that into your self-concept. Like, I don't do that anymore. I'm not available for that anymore. And I don't do that anymore. I just don't. Maybe in the past I did, but I don't justify that in any way to anyone. Thank you for the subscription, Alex. I didn't know you subscribed. Hi, Charles. Hi, poised by Aussies. I don't know. Hello, my BF is so clingy, but I don't want to lose him. What should I do? Okay, ask him. And there's a nice way to say this if he's so clingy, because if we're clingy, it could be anxious attachment. It's either one of two things. Typically, it's anxious attachment where the person is like, oh my God, they have like such an intense fear of abandonment, so they need to cling all the time. Or they are cheaters. And so they're being clingy because it's like, well, I cheat. So I assume that everyone else cheats. So I'm going to be clingy right now so she doesn't cheat on me. It's one of those. So I would start with coming from a place of love and say, you know what? I love you so much. And I love how much attention you give me. And whatever, say a bunch of nice things about them and how you feel about the relationship. But it's like, it's a little bit too much. Like I need my space sometimes. And it does feel clingy to me. And instead of just like a mutual, like love or like, and it's like, do you not trust me? Do you think I'm going to abandon you? Ask them about it, because it's either when someone's clingy, they either don't trust you or they have a fear of abandonment. So ask them which one it is, and see how open and honest they can be about it. But yeah, if someone's clingy, it's either because they don't trust you, or maybe they don't trust themselves because they don't trust you. It's a projection. And what else? What did I just say? Or they have issues with abandonment, and it causes like a huge a form of anxiety, or what's called anxious attachment. I'm able to walk away from everything and figure it out. Okay. Charles, that's definitely true. Thank you, Oliver. Life lived now. I had to walk away from my family, knowing what they have become. I had to accept that. I hurt so deeply, but I'm proud that I did that. I'm proud of you too. It's hard to walk away from that sometimes. It's hard to walk away from toxic family members. So I'm proud of you too. Alicia says, every time I go to a psychologist and become emotional and sometimes cry, they just sit there and say nothing. They show no warmth. Is that something psychologists are trained to do / stay detached? That is terrible. Okay, this is why I have a master's degree in psychology, but I operate more as a coach. Like I act like a human. I think it's very old school and antiquated to sit there and act like a fucking wall and like I don't have any life or emotion or whatever. One of my clients told me that he went to a funeral for his like former psychologist from a while ago, and a lot of their other this person's other patients were there, and all of them knew nothing about her. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's an interpersonal relationship that you have. And I think there should be an equal exchange and reciprocity and synergy. So if you have a psychologist like this, I would freaking dump her, like, or him, because you're, and this is how I operate. I am holding a space for you guys. Even in this live stream, I'm holding a safe space for you guys to talk and be vulnerable and talk about your goals or whatever you're going through. And so I could help you. But especially in a one-on-one situation, I'm holding this safe, sacred space for you to be exactly who you want. But I'm giving you reciprocity. I'm letting you know like how I feel in saying things back and giving you feedback. And otherwise, it's kind of like a form of abandonment. Ugh, I'm sorry, Alicia, that you went through that. This is like, I just think that, and I train psychologists, like people that have PhDs and all this stuff. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. A lot of them really don't. They're not good at working with clients. And I've trained some of them, throughout my practice. Like I went to Harvard. Well, fuck you. You're not good at what you do. You're not good at working with clients. So I don't give a fuck like about your education, and I'm educated too, but I don't, the purpose is like, can you establish a real connection with your client and help them? and emotionally support them. So, yes, not all psychologists are that way, and that's just such an old school way, Alicia. Like, find a coach or therapist that actually can benefit you. Alicia says, "Thank you for your answer. It gives me hope that I may find." Yes, yes, there are psychologists. And, like, also, this is a good point, like, that Alicia's making, like, or that I'm thinking of because of Alicia's really good question, is that when you are shopping around for a therapist, psychologist, coach, like anyone that's helping with your mental health, ask them things, interview them. You are paying them to work with. So it's like, okay, ask them what their background is, ask them how they relate to clients, ask them what type of therapy or coaching that they do, ask them questions. So it's not just you doing, or you just like blindly like picking the one from the internet that kind of looks good. You know what I mean? Like actually um doing some due diligence about it. Hi, Tony from Philly. Um, I am not defining happiness as no stress. I literally didn't say that. Like, what are you like? It's so interesting to me. Like, I'm literally talking, or like when I post content, and I'm like, I literally did not say that. That doesn't even exist. Um, Yeah, but I'm saying that there are studies that show that women have a less satisfactory life after kids and marriage. It's the truth. It's very threatening for men to hear that, but it's the truth. And as someone that's a woman, like I'm 44 years old and I don't have kids, and a lot of women with kids that are married wish they're in my shoes. And that sucks. And like, I mean, but it's the truth. And you could look up the studies. Like men benefit from having children and being married so much more, especially in this age, like, because it's like, because of how healthcare is, and like, and the access that women have to like make money and everything. I don't know what to tell you, but like but the women I see that have the best marriages and they're very happy is because they're happy and relaxed, and the man in their life is taking very good care of them, so they can focus on being a good mother. And it's not like I have to be like they're operating like a single mom within their marriage. Like I got to work full time, then I have my kids. I want to be a good mom. Like the man provides, like he's a very good provider and protector, and provides this environment where a woman could thrive, and then she could be the best wife to her husband or man or whatever. That's when women are satisfied with being in a marriage. I don't know what you're talking about. Should I let her do it or stand my ground? I must have missed something. Rephrase that. Live life now. Life lived now. I stayed with my ex 25 years because I was anxious. I had an anxious attachment. It ended in violence from him. Our attachment. Yeah, our attachment styles can blind us if we're just letting them take the lead. And we don't realize like, oh, and your attachment styles, if they're anxious or attached or avoidant, or you have disorganized where you vacillate between anxiety and anxious attachment and avoidant, they're just trauma responses. And you could clear that up. You can clear that trauma response and have a healthy and what's called secure attachment. It's totally available to you. Jabari, I had issues with abandonment for what felt like years after my divorce. I'm grateful I healed. Yes, I'm grateful you did too. God and my mom helped me a ton with healing. Aw, I'm sure I was clingy during. I love that, Jabari. Good for you. We are taught not to lead you. I think men should lead. That's masculine energy. Your family might have taught you abandonment, Abel, but you can teach yourself secure attachment. Yeah. I mean, a lot of families teach abandon yourself because your needs are last, and whatever needs for the family or the toxic person come first. But you can change that. You can decide that you don't abandon yourself for any part of your life. What seems like a deal breaker? Chi-town? Okay, you. Jabari, LOL, Lauren. It's true, not all Harvard people. I know. I can't tell you how many people I meet. I'm like, am I supposed to be fucking impressed that you went to Harvard? Because I'm not. Alicia, that's right. It's important to make a connection. Yes. You want someone that's making a connection with you, that cares about what they do and is holding space for you. I've met so many psychologists that are just like, they just look at you as another paycheck, another thing to bill insurance for. You don't want that. Life lived now. We are taught that that if we bring ourselves into the situation, then we polluted the relationship. Never heard that. And I worked the CMC. I feel like when I worked for the government in Livonia, I felt as a waste of space. When I had to save myself or family, I saved myself. I feel so bad in my own self. Can you clarify? I don't know what that means. Live life now. Yeah, she's 100% right. Their research is there. Yeah, it is. And it's like, it's just really threatening for men to hear that, but it is, because it's like if more women with like, because women feel guilty about the fact that their life would be more satisfactory and better in a lot of ways if they didn't get married and have kids. And like, they have like so much guilt about it. So it's not really openly talked about, but it is true for a lot of women. Jabari, Lauren. Yeah, that's me. Abel, do you think men leave their happiness for their family? Do you think men leave their happiness for their family and women leave their family for no. I think some people do. Some people are selfish and do that, or it's not even selfish. Like, I mean, most people cheat. Esther Perel talks about this a lot. She's a psychologist that specializes in relationships and why people cheat. And she said that most people cheat because they could be happier. And sometimes it's for an escape, but like we're talking about normal, we're not talking about people that have sex addiction or like doing like things like that, because that's a real thing. Like there's some people that'll cheat, they'll go hang out with the person they're cheating with, then they'll get a sex worker, then they'll have another, like that is sex compulsion and addiction. But people that just are cheating, it's typically because they could be happier, or they're in an abusive situation and they really just have a longing to be loved. Oh, okay. I don't know. I've never heard that about not being told to leave. Life lived now. I'm also a therapist. We are taught so many odd things. I don't know. I mean, I believe in masculine and feminine energy, whether you're gay or straight, like it exists in nature. When masculine and feminine energy are balanced and in synergy, everyone's happy. The relationship is good, but oftentimes it's just out of balance. Jabari, that said, I met a recent person on LinkedIn who went to MIT and Harvard, who seems pretty cool. Yeah. It's not like you went to Harvard and you suck. That attitude of like, I'm the best. Don't question anything about me because I went here. I don't like that attitude. Yeah. I'm sure she is cool. Alicia, I've been burying everything inside and it built up because I never expressed myself or am afraid to. Well, Alicia, that's really good awareness. And the thing is, what you bury alive, and it just gets amplified until it's like, hey, I'm ready to deal with this. And sometimes we get intimidated or it looks overwhelming to deal with it, but I promise you it's not. And so you writing this, you being on this live stream, I think it's just a sign that you're so ready. You're so ready to heal. You're so ready to move beyond your limitations or what you've been bearing. And like it really, all healing and moving out of whatever you were bearing, it's just releasing. It's just letting go. It's like sometimes people have this a negative connotation with healing or the healing journey. It could be uncomfortable sometimes, but you're just letting go. Like think about you're holding on to all of this stuff at once, and then you're deciding that I don't need to carry that anymore. And I don't need to carry that anymore. And what does it do? It makes space for so many like more things that are better to come into your life. So you're ready. Live life now. It's sad our relationship with our patients is supposed to be. I'm very warm with my clients, and I'm warm with like in my content. I end almost every video with telling you I love you because I really do, and I really believe that the energy of love is very transformational and healing. So I don't know. I would recommend not working with anyone that is operating from a place like, I mean, think about it. Even with doctors, if they have a bad bedside manner, do you want to work with them? It's just like grow up. Like when people are cold like that, I wouldn't work with anyone like that. Yes, we are on the same page, Jabari. It's such a good answer. Everything we bury alive. I get that and what you are saying. Thank you. Of course, you're welcome. And I think it's really important to say that because a lot of times, especially if we come from trauma or traumatic households, or we had parents or or caretakers that are like they couldn't emotionally show up for us. They're like, "Get over it. You're being too sensitive." You did it, and then so a child's nervous system learns to bury things. So they have an experience and they're like, "Oh, that doesn't matter. My experience doesn't matter. It's invalid. I'm being too much or not enough. So let me just bury it." And so the you start to develop this defense mechanism way before your brain is fully formed that, oh, I have to bury this. I can't look at this. My needs don't matter. I'll get rejected or someone will call me sensitive or dumb or whatever. So we learn to bury things just as a survival tool, and we don't have to do that. And again, what you bury alive. So it's still there for you to heal and release. So I'm glad to nudge you on your healing journey, Alicia. Um, Starling Night. How do I deal with failure in life, and how can a person stand back and try again? So I like to think of failure as like you're never really failing. Maybe you didn't get the outcome that you wanted, but you're never really failing. What if you thought of it and changed your perception as I'm moving towards the outcome that I want? And maybe it didn't look exactly how I wanted it to look, but I'm moving towards the outcome that I want. And what if you based your belief system in I'm moving towards the outcome that I want? And it's happening. Oh, it didn't happen the way maybe I'm being guided to go in this direction, even though like maybe my ego or my inner critic or my limited way of thinking is only thinking it can come in this way or I could get this outcome this way. But maybe I'm being called to look at things a little differently. So I would first start with like, you're never failing at anything. You didn't get the outcome that you wanted. Okay, fine. But you can still just remind yourself that you're continuing positive momentum in the direction that you want. And maybe it's trying again. Maybe it's doing things from a different perspective. Maybe it's not being so hard on yourself. Maybe it's doing the situation a little bit differently. It depends on what it is, because like the question is phrased kind of broadly, but like I would always recommend having that perspective on you in your life. There's no way to fail. You're just keeping the momentum going. Yes, I agree with you. I hate the way we are expected to not act like humans. I've never gone along with that. I mean, even when I was in grad school and I was interning, I always treated every client I had like they were not like a friend, but like they could talk to me like a friend. So, um, Alicia, 49-year-old male who only just realized the reason I wanted to be a dad is because I never had one. Isn't that strange? No, a lot of people have that. Like, a lot of people want to have kids because it's like, "Oh, I never had that experience." I just think if it's coming from a good place and, you know, I would definitely start though, like, if you were my client, I'd be like, "Okay, fine, but let's do some inner parent work," or it's called in psychology, it's called family systems, but what it is you connect with your inner child and every version of your inner child. So the 8-year-old, the 5-year-old, the, whatever year old. And, hold on, let me oh, okay, it got deleted. So every version of you um, as a child, and then reparent those versions of yourself, and then see how you feel about having kids, because sometimes people have kids because they have these unhealed parts of themselves, and they don't get healed by having kids. And so we don't want that. So we want to do a lot of good internal work, so we're going into having kids in the healthiest way possible. Let me hide this guy. Let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up soon, guys. Great questions, Starling. Thank you so much for the advice. Of course, that's what I'm here for. I live stream twice a week, Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific. So come back and tell us how you're doing. Give us updates. We love the updates on how are things. That's what Peter was doing earlier. Peter is so awesome and has taken some of the advice that we've talked about here and implemented it, and he's just doing really well and thriving. And even though he's hard on himself, Peter, we love you and you're doing great. So yeah, come back and tell us how you're doing um, on Wednesday. Alicia, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I copy my mother way of being a parent because I didn't have a dad. It works for me because I'm very good, good. Love it. If I get a new Nintendo, is that a connection to my inner child? It can be if you're actively connecting to your inner child. If you're asking your inner child, like, "Oh, do you want to play Nintendo, or can I play Nintendo with you?" But Nintendo and video games can be a way to really numb out. So let's be balanced with it. Does your inner child want to play or go on a walk, or your inner child just wants to be a kid. A lot of times we have trauma, and so we weren't allowed to be a kid when we were supposed to be a kid. So just allow your inner child to be a kid, but literally ask them. Don't just buy the Nintendo. Ask them if they want to play Nintendo. Ask them what they want. They might want to take a nap. They might want to relax. Jabari, that said, I still want kids. Good. Yeah, just one step at a time. You are welcome. Come back anytime. Again, Sundays and Wednesdays, I'm here. Put on your notifications so you know when things are coming up. Jabari, well, I want my family. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're so young, Jabari. Don't worry about it. I think a perfect time for guys to have kids is like 40, actually. I know that I'm going to get like a lot of flack for that, but your brain is fully developed between 30 and 35 as an adult male human. And so it's good to have that in place. I know some people have kids earlier. That's not a bad thing. But you know more about what you want and don't want, as you were in your 30s. And by 40s, it's like it just feels like everything's like good and you know what you want and don't want. So it's just a better place to be. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. So good to see you. I love the updates. I love the wins that you guys shared. Excellent questions. Not that many trolls. I didn't see Bob in here tonight, so I don't think he was. But anyway, if Bob watches this later, hi, Bob. We love you. And we'll see you on Wednesday. He might be moving. But anyway, yes, I'll see you guys soon on Wednesday. And Jabari, thanks, Lauren. I appreciate your of course. I'm sending you guys all the best vibes. You're gonna have an amazing week. You're gonna exceed your expectations and get everything that you want and more. And we're gonna have a lot to celebrate, okay, on Wednesday and next Sunday. I'm already excited for you. Okay. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.